Alright, welcome to this video lesson. And in this lesson I want to talk to you about punishment and why I think punishment is not a good way to handle children. The first thing is that most of the problems in the behavior of children have to do with sleep, bad diet, lack of understanding of language. So let's take a look at this. You punish a child. Let's say the kid's 12 months old. He sees mother cook some water on the stove and he wants to touch it. So you punish the child by hitting it. To me, that doesn't seem like a logical solution. He doesn't know that it's hot. And you could say, well, I told him it's hot, but he doesn't know what hot means, right? He doesn't know that if that touches him, that he's going to have a lot of pain and it can burn his skin and those kind of things. He has either a very limited understanding or no understanding whatsoever about it. Right? And then as they get older, they have a bit more understanding, right? But maybe like a 6-year-old, he knows that he shouldn't be touching it because it's hot, but does he really know if that cooking water touches his body, that his body is going to be pretty much deformed for the rest of his life, right? He probably doesn't know that. You and I know that, right? So that's why we can make decisions and saying decisions about it, because we have an understanding about it. And with children, their lack of understanding, of course, causes them to make irrational decisions, because we can only make good decisions having enough and correct information. So the other thing when you punish a child is that he or she would learn from this experience, and just like you and I would do, they would start to hide the things the other party, in this case the parents, don't want to see, right? So they might tell you one thing, but in reality that's not what's happening. This especially happens when they get older. And this, of course, causes a gap in communication, because the child knows that if it communicates honestly, let's say the child got a little older and he got some bad grades in school. Now he knows that if he tells you, that he'll be in trouble. So what does he do? He hides it. He might even get a friend involved and have him fake a report card for you just so that he doesn't get the punishment. But that doesn't solve the problem, right? Communication solves the problem. If you had a child who had a bad grade, punishing it is not going to solve the problem. What's going to solve the problem is, first of all, asking him, does he want to improve the grade? And most of the time you get an answer of yes. And then you say, well, what do you think went wrong? And let him make the decision. Let him take a look at what's going on in his life, what caused the grade to go down. Okay? And sometimes you find out some of the craziest things. Like one of my students before, they told me a story about how their child used to be good, let's say in math, and then all of a sudden in the next grade they weren't so good. And actually it was because they were put in the back of the room. And since they needed glasses and they were unaware of that, they couldn't see what the teacher wrote and they were afraid to speak up because the teacher would be angry. So they just didn't say anything and got the bad grades until their mom investigated it and found out some things and realized like, oh my God, that's the thing, right? But that only happened because she didn't use punishment. And she got into communication with her child to find out what's really going on. All right, so that's it for this video lesson, and I hope this was of some use to you. I'll see you in the next one.